All right, guys, how's it going? In this video, we're going to be talking about Alexander Isak and some claims that he has agreed personal terms with Liverpool. And I'm going to cut to the chase first, go to where these claims originate from, tell you about the journalist, tell you about the platform where these claims are made. And then, of course, they've been amplified and twisted a little bit by the Twitter twats, the content aggregators, and so on, right? I'll try and get through it as quickly as possible. So basically, the article was written by Sasha Tavolieri. We've discussed him before on here. And he writes for Sky Sports Switzerland. Now, what happens is some of these content creators either intentionally leave that Switzerland bit out, so it gives it more weight, or are just that thick that they don't realise that Sky Sports Switzerland is not Sky Sports UK. So a claim coming from Sky Sports UK, in my opinion, is more credible. Not that I pay too much attention to Sky Sports because they're usually the last to know. They're good for access and things like that. But when they say Sky Sports sources, it's usually because they've seen Ornstein or Joyce put something out on Twitter, right? You would know that if you follow things as closely as, myself and some of the other people on here. Many people know that Sky Sports UK. Anyway, that doesn't matter, right? This isn't about dissing Sky Sports UK. It's about explaining the difference, right? So if you see a post on social media or someone writing an article saying Alexander Isak has agreed personal terms according to Sky Sports, that's quite a big statement, right? And even I would go, oh, right, well, they're not going to say that unless it's true, right? But it's not Sky Sports, it's Sky Sports Switzerland. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read the article to you and then go over the key points that you really need to know. So the headline was, Alexander Isak has made his choice. He wants to join Liverpool Football Club, ! While the Reds are set to begin official talks with Newcastle in the coming hours to inform them that a formal bid will soon be placed on their table, the leaders of the Red Club, that's Liverpool, have already received the green light from the Swedish giant regarding personal terms. A 5-year contract has been tied up properly and perfectly matches his salary demands. Now, before we go any further, right? When a club agrees a transfer fee, when it's accepted by the holding club, the club that owns the player, you will often see, said player has been given permission to undergo medical and discuss personal terms. But everybody already knows personal terms are more or less agreed, or they've been agreed in the background. You do not bid for a player unless you already know what his personal package is going to be. What would be the point of that? Imagine spending weeks and weeks and weeks negotiating a transfer, sitting down with a player and going, well, we didn't know you wanted that fucking much. It just doesn't happen. So, and also a player can agree personal terms with multiple clubs. So never get excited when you see these things, thrown around on the interwebs, right? Because an agent's job is to go and agree terms with as many different clubs, potential destinations as possible. Say to his client, well, they're going to pay you this. So just because you've agreed personal terms doesn't mean anything's going to happen, right? And they do throw it around. And also a lot of the Twitter twats, when something is obviously happening around this point, right? I believe that Liverpool and Newcastle are negotiating for Isak behind the scene, right? So if you're a wannabe ITK in the know, you can easily say now, oh, Liverpool have agreed personal terms with Isak, right? Because all your followers are going to get excited and because it's like very likely to have happened, right? But down the line, if it doesn't happen and someone goes, well, you agreed personal terms, it doesn't mean that the deal goes ahead, right? The personal terms thing, don't get too excited about it, right? But anyway, he's saying that, perfectly matches his salary demands. He is in effect saying personal terms have been agreed here. And it's this that's been spun by these people to make it sound stronger than it actually is. It goes on, Liverpool are expected to send an offer of around £100 million to gauge the intentions of the black and whites and fully launch negotiations. Liverpool know that Newcastle are demanding £150 million, but believe they can wrap up the deal for around £120 million, including performance-related bonuses. A specific meeting is planned between the clubs within the next 48 hours, not 46 hours, not 42, not 72, but 48 hours, to learn the clear intentions of the club based on the banks of the Mersey. This is all translated, of course, right? Now, I spoke to Dave, right, my AI assistant, right, and me and Dave, I'm pointing at the screen here. You guys that follow my channel for ages, you know who Dave is because he speaks to us sometimes, right? And I've been training for about 9 months, analysing news articles, picking at things and all that. And because we've gone through it before, all I had to say to him today was, Dave, give me the blurb to tell everybody again, basically. And this is what Dave said. This is Dave's words, not mine. Analysis and why you should be cautious with Sasha Tavalieri's report. Let's be clear, says Dave. This is classic Sasha. Confident tone, lots of transfer theatre, and highly specific claims without citing a single name source. Here's what you should highlight to your viewers. Red flags and gaps in the story. No names, no quotes, no sources. There's no attribution at all. He says Liverpool and Isak have agreed a 5-year contract with salary terms that match perfectly. But there's no agent name, no club figure, not even a sources close to the deal tag is included in the report. It reads like he's heard something and is spinning a detailed scenario around it, the opposite of how Joyce or Ornstein operate. And as you know, if you follow my channel, they're the only two journalists in the world that you need to follow regarding Liverpool Football Club. We also listened to Rent a Tweet, Fabrizio Romano, Mo Salah. Some of you won't understand why I do that, some of you do. But we do listen to Fabrizio a little bit, do you know what I mean, for entertainment. But in terms of journalists, right, for me, and most of you guys that watch my videos, you know, it's only what Joyce and Ornstein say that matters. Extremely detailed financials, which are unverifiable. Dave flags this up. Liverpool will offer around £100 million. Newcastle want £150 million. Liverpool think they can get him for £120 million with bonuses. This looks impressive, but isn't new. Those numbers have already been doing the rounds online for some time. He's repackaging public speculation as if it's exclusive negotiation information that's been supplied to him. He names a contract being tied up properly, but no confirmation from UK-based sources. If Isak had agreed personal terms with Liverpool already, now we're talking about, you know, serious, like it really has happened, not just a little conversation as to, you know, what he would want and stuff. That would be the kind of thing that Joyce, Ornstein, Romano, even the Newcastle beat writers would start murmuring about. Silence elsewhere suggests Sasha is overreaching, possibly guessing, and that's also what these Twitter twats do, you know, when it's obvious what's going on. It's very easy now, isn't it, to say, oh, Liverpool have agreed terms with whoever, right? Because you're following that thing. And you'll always get one that says the deal's been signed and done even before it's been announced, because they're gambling, right? It's so easy to do it. We could all do this, guys. We really could. Timing and urgency is vague and unverifiable, continues Dave, in the coming hours, within the next 48 hours. It gives the illusion of movement, but if it doesn't happen, he can just say the meeting was rescheduled or called off. This is a classic hedge, and hedging is really, really, really massive with these journalists, right? There's always a fucking get out, remember that, right? Stylistic padding. Leaders of the Red Club, giant Swede, on the banks of the Mersey. The language is flowery, designed to sound official or cinematic, but it adds zero substance. It often means the journalist is trying to sound authoritative without facts. And what he goes on to say in his summary, he works for Sky Sports Switzerland, which sounds like a big deal. But let me be clear, that's not the same as Sky Sports UK. It is a Swiss-only streaming service with its own editorial team and zero ties to UK club insiders, right? It's literally just a logo, guys, branding. Now, Sasha's decent at catching whispers, but he has a track record of dressing up speculation as fact. In this case, he's saying Liverpool and Isak have agreed personal terms, 5-year deal, wages all sorted, and that a bid is being lined up in the next 48 hours. Sounds exciting, right? But here's the thing. Not a single UK journalist has backed this up. Not Paul Joyce, not Ornstein, not even a whisper from the Newcastle end, and there are no name sources, no agent, no quote. The language is all fluff. On the banks of the Mersey, giant Swede, clear intentions, all very dramatic, but not very informative. If this falls apart, he can just say Newcastle stalled or talks broke down. That's the problem. So treat Sasha's claims as interesting, but not gospel. Wait for a proper UK-based journalist before you start planning where Isak fits in the starting 11. So, the Sky Sports, when Sky Sports Switzerland publish things, right, I shit you not, so many people say Sky Sports have said, and it does give it authority, even if you don't really pay much attention to Sky Sports. Like I say, I personally feel that the big guns get that information out there first. Sky Sports are the studio of fucking YTS, youth apprentices, whatever, scouring the interwebs, no different to an ITK or even Fabrizio Romano himself sometimes. And Sky Sports sources say, and it'll be within minutes of Ornstein or Joyce saying it, right? Sky Sports Switzerland is not Sky Sports. Please, I need you to realise this. When you see these claims made online, Sky Sports say terms, don't just take what they say as gospel, because these fuckers, right, they either do it deliberately to make it sound more engaging, ka-ching, or they're just thick as two short planks and don't know what you and I know. All right? So, my opinion is, I am still of the opinion that Liverpool will sign Isak. I am of the opinion. I do not know if they will do that or not. But I think that what's happening behind the scenes is that this has been negotiated. And I think it's really important as to what Newcastle do in terms of recruitment. Which brings me on to one more thing I want to add, which was from Fabrizio Romano himself, to do with Newcastle. These are quotes from Fabrizio Romano, not specifically about Isak, but Benjamin Sesko, right? Which, until, I'm not really sure we're going to see anything to do with Isak unless Newcastle strengthen, right? Obviously, Manchester United and Newcastle heavily involved with the Sesko situation. Liverpool sniffed around him in February, we know that for a fact, but it went quiet. For whatever reasons, Liverpool left it, right? And this is what Fabrizio Romano, Renter tweet, had to say. Man United keep working on the Sesko deal. They're in contact with people close to the player, ready to also speak to Leipzig. So it's not only Newcastle, that have an interest in him. Newcastle are very ready, but Manchester United need to understand if they can be ready or not. This is also on the player. The player can decide at any moment to go to Newcastle, or maybe wait for Manchester United. Let's see what's going to happen. Obviously, Sesko is going to take his time. It's not something very imminent in terms of hours. So it's probably going to take some days to decide what he's going to do. But for sure, hey, Rafa Benitez, for sure, for sure. Benjamin Sesko remains a big topic of this window. So when Newcastle, it's a good sign if Newcastle do that deal, I think. I do. My long-term viewers know that, for months I thought that we were going to go for Isak this window. But I thought it'd be the end of the window. I said before the window opened, or even before the season had finished, I thought we'd do a bit at the beginning, it'd go quiet, and then I thought if we were going to go for Isak, I had no idea we were going to do that or not. Why do these people come online and all pretend? I've been here nearly 30 years doing this shit. And yeah, you meet people along the way. And I've had some brilliant contacts within the club and still have, right? A massive network of sources over 30 years. But you do not get calls like this every day. People, I ain't never going to believe this done. Do you know what I mean, guys? Like, let's just keep it fucking real. I'm not guessing here, right? I just think that we were always going to do it. I just do. And I just think, even the vibe from Newcastle, from their main journalists, has always been, Isak's not for sale, but he is. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's not for sale, but if the money was right, which basically means he's not for sale, but he is. All right? And Dave, as you know, if you've been following this, has analysed these things and picked the holes in these articles with me. And it's been a big help. So, if you are hearing that personal terms have been agreed, and this should apply with any transfers ever to do with Liverpool, do not get excited with that, right? Because when the personal terms have formally, officially been agreed, that means a deal's been accepted. You already know all this stuff, right? But a club is not going to bid for a player unless, in theory, personal terms have been agreed, because what would be the point? You don't waste time. You need to go the groundwork. Look at the situation now with Rodrigo. They've got, what's he called? Zahavi, super agent, right? Is in the middle between Rodrigo and Liverpool. Liverpool sounding it out. Why? That's all to do with, how much would the fucker want? How much? Fuck that, we're not doing that. So you do your groundwork. What would the fee be, do you reckon? Get the agent to tell you the ins and outs of the contracts, release clauses. Can we make it happen? Is he up for it? He would be. All right, how much would the fucker want? Right? Fuck that. So why would you proceed with, oh, well, we'll carry on negotiating then? It's nonsense. Personal terms are always known, right? You never get worried about that shit, guys. And unfortunately, people will manipulate and spin things to make it sound like, if you saw claims today, personal terms have agreed like this, it's something most people get excited about. I don't. I just go, yeah, right, yeah. No shit, Sherlock. They won't be fucking trying to sign him if they didn't know how much he wanted. Yeah, formally, agreed, of course, when there's permission. But come on, you know what I mean, guys. So I'm making this video for you, right? Just to try and warn you, if you are hearing that these personal terms have been agreed, of course they have, right? Next thing is Tavolieri, whatever the fuck he's called. Well, Dave basically told you, you know what I mean. And Sky Sports Switzerland is not Sky Sports UK. And if you are one of those people that you're like, oh no, I trust Sky Sports UK, Dunk, that's all right. You should. I mean, why not? They're not gonna deliberately mislead you, but they're often not the first to tell you, right? Even if it says breaking news, Sky Sports understands, they've got it from fucking social media 9 times out of 10, from the credible people like Ornstein and Joyce, right? But Sky Sports Switzerland isn't that. And you keep an eye. You look how many fuckers out there on the interwebs will have said, according to Sky Sports, personal terms have been agreed. It makes it sound so credible. Just be careful with Sky Sports Switzerland. If you want to look at their website as a matter of interest, it is Sky hyphen, that's the minus, I think it's a hyphen in it, Sky line sport.ch, okay? Sky hyphen, I think it's hyphen, that word, minus sign or whatever, .ch. And, it's got the Sky Sport logo up there, but it is not what you think, all right? And just be cautious of that, guys. Keep an eye on what Newcastle do. If you're a Newcastle fan, please don't caps lock me to death in the comment section. You'll only get one go at it. No one will ever see you again. Respect your club, no problem, right? I'm just telling people what the latest claims are. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it with you. Yeah, that's it. All right. No live streams today. I can't remember if I told you that. There'll be a live stream tomorrow night around 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. UK time tomorrow night. I'll probably be live on my other YouTube channel, Duncan Oldham. The morning briefing's on there today, by the way. That's gone on already. It's a big one. That's what she said. I'll be live on there this afternoon with my boy Smooth. We're getting on the Xbox for a bit this afternoon. He's got a few days off work. So the link to the video description to the Duncan Oldham channel. Excuse me. And it'll pop up on the screen as well. All right, guys, listen, the Isak thing, how are you feeling about it at the moment? Listen, all right, if we don't sign him, I genuinely don't give a fuck. I don't. I don't give a fuck. I don't. Because I have every confidence in the team. And to be honest with you, and the people that are running this shit, and I think it's the first time I've ever said, I said it yesterday, but it's the first period I've ever thought, fuck me, I'm trusting these people at the moment. You know what I mean? Not flip-flopping, but I just think that we've seen some great stuff from Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards. I really do. And even if the window slams shut and there isn't a deal, because there's a lot of money involved, right? I wouldn't say it was over, personally. But I'm quietly confident that we'll do this. I don't know about you, but it's only a personal opinion, all right? My opinion might be different tomorrow. So we'll leave it there. I think I've covered everything. If you found this video informative, please thumbs up the video. Please drop me a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts, especially if you're a Newcastle fan and, you're a nice person. I mean, I get some Newcastle fans coming in and being really nasty pasties with me. But then I met Liam out here recently. He's a Newcastle fan. Bumped into him in a bar down the resort. Hey, Mr. Cop Talk. I was like, oh, no, who the fuck's this? And he went, all right, mate, I'm a Newcastle fan. I watch your videos. And we were talking about Isak, met his old man. Lovely people. Be a Liam, right? Be a Liam. Great lad. Drop me a comment. If you want to support my channel, get me a beer or a coffee, you can do that. There's a love out under the video. Hey, look, God likes to try you. This is my living. We're fucking not here for fun. All right? So love out under the video. And I always give a shout out to everyone that does that in my morning briefings. Other than that, guys, I don't think I've got a lot more for you at the moment. All right? But we will see. Okay? Take care. And remember, Sky Sports Switzerland is not the Sky Sports you think, all right, in terms of credibility, access, etc., etc.